When it's no longer about you, that's when your skill set starts to really take off because it's not your focal point. There is a healthy selfishness that exists with an athlete because you really need to invest and you really need to spend a lot of time on being a skilled player. We all know what that looks like. It's practice time before training. It's all the times where no one sees you. But when you blend those skill sets into the team environment, now you're moving from a skilled player to a team player, regardless of whether you play or don't play. And then everything that you do is for the team. You've bettered yourself because you want to make it better for the team. But I think the best modeling that can happen is not a coach per se, but it's the team parents. It's the parents, it's your team, it's your lifetime parents. It's the people that you grow up with that model those behaviors for you so you can see them, so you naturally become that person once you move into a team environment. And I said, being on a team's a gift, but sometimes it can be a curse to a kid because he's never understood the value of what a team is and what it does for you as a person. And I think when you learn those team traits, it's because a parent understands I'm a parent. And when I go to a game, I am a parent. I'm not an umpire. I'm not a fan. And I'm certainly not a player. I am a parent and I am a support person to what's going on here because I've chosen that role. That is a very intentional thought of mine, very intentional decision. But when parents cross those boundaries and become more than that, that's where we see conflict. That's where we see distorted behaviors. That's where we see misbehaving. And when you see an adult misbehave, the child's going to follow suit. They're going to walk in that same path. The steps that that child, the steps that that parent created are only going to be created by the little one who's following those same steps. And I just don't think that those are the steps you want to create for your kids.
Man, I love hearing your passion on this subject. I just have one more question on the parenting and then we'll close this down. I love this idea of partnering with the parents. When I hear about a partnership, I see two people sitting on the same side of the table working on a project
Yeah.
versus
Yeah.
on opposite sides. Same goes true with marriage. Same goes, I mean, that partnership word is nice. And your answer might be different for a high school coach just with what you can and can't do and different ages. But what's the advice to coaches out there to partner with the parents so they're sitting on the same side of the table and it's not a you against me? Any general advice, whether it's a college coach or maybe a high school coach, to partner with the parents?
Well, I think it's a very good thought, and I think there's an action plan to being able to do that too. I think when you partner with the parents, though, it's almost as if it's not. And this might not be a great example, and I'm thinking about it, but it's almost like the couple that gets divorced, but yet they create a partnership that is very loving in nature to create the best life for their kids. And that's when you see it really done well. And I'm not saying a coach and a set of parents are divorced, but they're separate from one another. And a lot of times their objectives have to be different because they're doing two different things. You got the parents raising a child, you've got the coach nurturing a child and helping the child and developing the child in a sport type way. But then when you merge those behaviors and you merge those thoughts, the thought process of partnering to me seems very healthy because I think as long as you can create an environment where you put parents in a classroom and just kind of tell the parents, this is how we want to operate our program. We'd love for you to partner with us to run the program in this way, but here's really what I need from you. Here's really what I need from you in order for your child to experience have a great experience inside of our program and for really him or her to get the most out of themselves because you are coaching someone else's child. And when you look at these players as this is someone's child and you have to think of those terms regardless of what you're doing. You have to preserve their spirit. You do have to preserve their spirit. You can't take their spirit away.